Hi, I want to share a vision, well, a dream that I had about 6 or 7 years ago. And in this dream, I remember that I was in this apartment complex, um, and there I went into like, it's like I just went into someone's house. And when I went into their apartment, the apartment on the outside was made of brick, but it wasn't fully brick. It was um, like vinyl siding, partially vinyl siding, and partially brick. So when I went inside of this apartment, I noticed that there were a lot of people, like, there were a few, well, it started out as a few people and standing around on the outside in the complex. And then I noticed, like, after I went in to the complex, that there was an individual in the apartment holding their head, and they were saying that they were having a headache. And I left out of the room where they were, and when I went back into the doorway of the complex, um, there was more individuals had come out of their complexes and were standing around outside. And I noticed that there was a police vehicle had pulled up, like, in the street, like, in front of the complex, and the officer was sitting in his car, in his vehicle. He did not get out. So the people, I noticed, started running. They were holding their head, and they were placing their hands on the side of their heads, like over their ears and over their heads, and they were like scream, like, ah, like that, and complaining of their heads hurting real bad. And so all of a sudden I felt this wave, like radioactivity. It was a wave of energy. I could feel it, like, rumbling over my body, like my chest area and everything. I could feel these radioactive waves. And for some reason, it did not cause my head to hurt, but I could feel the sensation all over my body. And in order to stop the sensation, I went into the a room, like the kitchen area, and then I went past it into a room, kind of like, I guess, a pantry or something. And the area that I went to, it was bricked up on the outside. And so because of that, the radioactive waves could not pass through that brick. And I discovered that. And when I discovered that, I was like, oh, I was protected as long as I was standing behind that brick. None of the waves could reach me. And so I began to tell a couple of the other individuals, I began to tell the other individuals, a few of them, I think it was like two individuals in the house, like, to come in the room, the little area where I was, and that if they stood there, the waves could not penetrate the brick and it couldn't get to them. And so And so I noticed that police officers, um, the waves was coming out of the police officer's car too. When the officer would pull up, and it's like he had some type of weapon in his car, and whatever this was in his car, the waves were emitting from that too, and he was using it to his advantage to control the people and to make them run in the house, because the individuals started running in their apartments, going in the house, and he was using this as a weapon. He never got out of the car. He didn't have to get out of the car, so I never really just got to physically really get a good look at him because he didn't get out of the car. He didn't need to. That the weapon that he was using inside of the car, he was purposely using this to control the individuals, to make them like disperse and go in the house. And they, as I said, they were holding their heads, screaming, saying their heads were hurting. They were running in the house trying to get away from it. But even when they went in the house, it was penetrating through the house, through that vinyl siding. It penetrated through that. And the only thing that it could not penetrate, that stopped it, was the brick. I discovered it could not penetrate brick. Um, which is made of rock. I don't know why it couldn't, but it couldn't. I don't know if it's for the purposes of cement. I don't know. But the Holy Spirit brought this dream back to me yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I had forgotten that I had had it, and I thought about, the thought came to me was about the 5G, because these waves that I felt were like, it was waves emitting, um, like you have waves that emit from a cell tower. It felt like that, but it was intense and intensely magnified, to the point I could feel it all over my chest, all over when I stood in the open doorway. And so when the thought came to me after he brought this dream back to me, and then the thought came to me about the 5G, and I was wondering, is this what I was experiencing in that dream? That I knew it was something dealing with, um, like radioactive waves, or that was, I felt, I knew that's what it was, something dealing with that. But I couldn't really just place the fact that there was anything at that time that I felt that would have caused that. Um, this is, to be honest, at that time, this is what I thought it was. I thought maybe the police officers would, in the future, create I mean, not them create, but would obtain a weapon, that gave off some type of radioactive waves to use against crowds, to cause them to disperse and dismantle them. That is what I was thinking. And so the 5G, if you think about it, they have um, internet access in their cars. They have these computers, all this junk that they have in their cars, all this stuff that they use, they have all this technology. in their vehicles. And he somehow had a weapon that he was using. It wasn't, I couldn't see the weapon, but I knew it was something that, in whatever form of the weapon he was using, he was purposely using it to attack the citizens. And he was doing it from within his car. He did not have to get out. He was purposely doing it. And he parked his car there so that it could go out, the signal could go out and affect these individuals. So I don't know if they will have access to something in their vehicle that they can turn on and off as a switch, or I have no idea if they will have access or create something where they could use this type of technology to control crowds during riots, or to make the individuals disperse, and to dismantle them, or what, I don't know. Or maybe if this they're using the 5G technology, maybe just because they have all the stuff in their vehicles, maybe them pulling up in front of someone's house with that technology and using the 5G, maybe it might affect the citizens. But in the dream, I knew the officer was purposely using this to harm the citizens. He knew, he purposely used this as a weapon, and he knew what it would do to the citizens, and he was using it to attack the citizens. So I'm just putting this out there because I didn't know that 5G was going to come out, and I didn't know what that was really about. So it's like after I had the dream, I just kind of cast it aside, and I didn't really question God about it, and I didn't go into any depth, on it. I think I mentioned it to my mom, and I think that was it. And so, him bringing that back to me, I believe that I was experiencing 5G technology, the waves, the radioactive waves, or the waves that I felt. And when I tell you, when I felt this, it was strong. These waves, when they hit my body, I could feel them vibrating on my chest area and my abdomen, my frontal body. I could just feel the waves, like as they was hitting me, like just vibrating on me, and I could feel it in waves. And I don't know if maybe it can't penetrate brick. I don't know. It may can. But this, like I said in the dream, the strangest thing, I discovered it could not penetrate through brick. So, anyways, that's all I have to this dream. Um, if anybody has done more research, and if you've discovered anything concerning brick, and the fact that if it's able to penetrate brick or not, I don't know. If it does, I don't know why in the dream it couldn't. I don't know if it was spiritually, meaning, the rock, uh, as in Jesus is the rock of our salvation. I don't know if it meant it spiritually, him blocking protecting me from it. I don't know if it was a spiritual meaning or if it was literal, um, the fact that it couldn't pass through brick. So um, just drop me a comment in the comment section. If you have any questions concerning this, or if it's something that you've researched and found out, um, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. So, thanks for watching. Bye.